Hello. In the previous video where I went through my accumulation of various watches, I showed this thing and I said I was going to have to take it apart and find out what it really is, as the crystal has a chip in it and I didn't want to actually use it like that. So I've managed to find a crystal the same size on eBay. Not a clue what make it is or anything. It's not an expensive one, it's just something that should fit. And I'm going to try and change it. It's the first time I've ever tried to do anything to a mechanical watch. I mean, I've had a lot of quartz watches apart over the years, and I've got a reasonable set of tools from doing those, screwdrivers, case removers, and that type of thing. But a mechanical one, no. This is the first time. And speaking of the crystal, it was shipped in a bag that was very clearly marked fragile with big labels, but someone didn't treat it fragile. The outer bag it was in and the padded bag it was in, it must have been crushed so heavily it's almost cut through the plastic bag there. You can see it's put a massive imprint in it. So it's just about, you can see it folded there, it's just about sheared through it. Both sides, in fact. So much for fragile. Anyway, back to the subject. So let me try and get the strap off this and see how it goes. Not a clue how this actually comes off. I've never tried to take this one apart. It appears to be just a normal spring pin. Oh yeah. That is moving when I do that, so hopefully I can get both ends at the same time. Something should give. No, it doesn't want to go. No. That's it, it's gone. That's one end out. I don't move this too much because that's my target to work on. Two pins. Drop those in a dish. Right, so see if we can get the back off. I haven't got a special tool for it, I've just got a generic rubber ball kind of remover tool. So see what happens with that. And it's not going anywhere. Oh. So much for that idea. I need something to remove that back. And it's just serrated, no normal kind of teeth or keying positions or anything like a standard watch. So I don't know what's involved in doing that. A small case clamp would do it. Got another little case clamp somewhere. No, that one's not big enough. And this is definitely cheating. I don't know if it'll grip because of the angles, it might just slide straight off. it's just sliding the angles on the sides. So I'm not sure what to do with that. But I can't do anything else with it at the minute. Oh well. Okay. That was interesting. I ended up inflating the ball a bit harder, and I gave it a wipe with a very slightly damp cloth just to get any trace of dust off it. And then once it was dry, but it got kind of that extra tacky feel things have just as they go to the point of being completely dry. With a lot of force, I managed to turn it. And my hand's starting to go back to normal now, but it just about took chunks out of my hand holding it. Anyway, that is now loose. Saying that, it was loose. There we go. Yeah. It's a good seal on it, whatever it is. And that, completely unmarked and very... It's just not wound, it is going. A completely unmarked and very generic looking mechanism is what's in it. I've got two cameras at different angles to try and avoid reflections and get a better view. So the next thing is to try and figure out how to get the stem out of it. Well, it looks like it might have got a button release. Let me try that. A very small screwdriver. Before I do any damage, let me get that thing. Nope. No, excuse me a second, I'll use a magnifier. I can't tell if it's a dowel pin in the mechanism, just there, or if it is supposed to be a release. It doesn't push. That screw appears to hold that little bridge on. So I can't really see how the stem comes out of it. Is that loose? No. Let's see, I've never dismantled a mechanical watch, so I'm a bit curious and also a bit stuck. So I'm just playing, thinking. That's the only screw I can see anywhere near the stem. Like I say, I can't tell if it actually holds a bridge on or if that's a part of the main body. Another one there. Try and loosen that. There is another screw holding that part in place, so it shouldn't fall apart. Just a couple of times. seem looser than it did. It's not completely free. No, that's no different. Just see if that release only works when it's already part way out, if that's what it is. Ah! Yes, that moves now. Interesting. Now the crown's unscrewed, that release button does appear to do something. Yes. Right, stem out. So what holds the mechanism in, if anything? Anything or nothing? That doesn't look good. I don't know where that's going from. It could be from the strap, I suppose. Strap attachments. But, yeah. What holds it in place? No, I don't see anything at all. Just prize. It's just a tight fit. That plastic collar. There we go. Moon is out. Oh, that collar, ring's fallen off now. I don't want to actually touch it anywhere that really matters with bare fingers. Just put it down for a minute. Right, so use nitrile gloves for work on machine tools, electronics, to try and prevent cross-contamination, and they seem eminently suitable. So get some good close-up views of this thing. See if anyone recognises it. I cannot see any markings whatsoever on it through the camera. I keep stopping it simply because it's not being wound, other than a little bit of eye movement whilst I've been messing with it just now. No. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not the name on the face. I'll say that for sure. It is a dual mechanism. I don't know how many, but it's got a few, including on the automatic winding mechanism. So it's not a bad quality, I suppose. but somewhat different class to what it's made out to be. Anyway, that's by the by. That's going to get put up one side. Because I didn't know how long it was going to be in bits, I did get a proper dust cover to put things in. I'll put the case ring and back in there as well out of the way. Right, so that's the rather scabby looking case interior. There's lots of little specks. I don't know if they're corrosion, glue or what. You see that? All white bits. Feels like a corrosion pit. Definitely see the big crack from the inside there. Presumably that outer bezel should pop off. With a bit of assistance. Try and find somewhere I can get that in without causing actual damage. No, that is very solid. Well, I have no idea how that crystal is held on. Oh, that's how that comes out. It appears to be set in a plastic seating, possibly. Yes, it has fallen apart and left bits everywhere. It's like a ground edge. Left bits all of this mat, so I'm glad I was working on the other mat as well. So that, I'll save the main chunk of crystal for measurement, but all the bits are going straight in the bin for the spread. Get rid of the fragments. That could be something to do with that back being so tight. There's actually a very fine metal burr in the thread. In fact, there's quite a few little bit of burrs in it. But I need to get that ring off before, really, I can try and do anything with the glass, because there's bits under it. Or whatever holds it, the plastic is underneath that. Assuming this is just kind of wire zigzag spring arrangement underneath it. With the right tool, it would come off relatively easily, but oh yeah, that's something I've never seen before because I've never had it in bits. The ends of the case, where they're hidden by the strap, are just rough milled or ground, no polishing or anything. So, interesting cost saving for whoever makes the things. Now the visible parts are immaculate. As I say, externally at the sides of a known genuine one, it is indistinguishable. Anyway, it's a nice toy. Yeah, it looks okay, that thing. It's working fine. I've had it 10, 15 years. Don't wear it much because I prefer... Wow. Oh, no. All I'm going to do is scratch the thing. Oh no, it chipped that cheap. That's what went. It's chipped the cheap case knife. I mean, that's only a toy out of some case opening kit from years ago. But it's actually taken a chunk out of that, so it's pretty tough metal. Oh, I have marked the shoulder slightly in doing it. Oh. It's a shame. No, okay, I don't know how to do that. As I say, it is in some kind of what appears to be a nylon seating. There. That's not metal. And it's not turning with the bezel. So I might just try, out of curiosity, see if this presses in. Like the lens cloth to remove any fingerprints from earlier. Not too bad about the outside, I can do that later, but definitely don't want anything on the inside. Also needs positioning, doesn't it? Well, I've got it's only marks on the outside. Actually, not bad alignment at that, looking at the position for the crown. And well, it's apparently in. That's all it takes. Might seat a bit further in, but it's not even, not quite. That side's almost flush. This side's protruding a bit still, so it definitely needs a bit more pressing. But it does fit. By the look of it. So, I might get away without taking the bezel off at all. Oh. No. Now I have got a appropriately basic and cheap nasty press from eBay. Just to try and do this. Well, there's this, but more importantly, the old Seiko that needs a new crystal. So this thing was very, very cheap on eBay. But I think it should do to put this back together as well. Just find the appropriate size dies. 30mm. That's a 30mm solid, which won't fit due to the magnifier on that one. That's a 32. That might do. Yeah, that looks like it will just do a 32. Then, presumably, we'll be able to fit the case back underneath. Or is that the... Oh, it's one of the flat ones underneath, presumably. Like that. 32. Get the other bits out of the way. Let's see if this works, or see if Mr. eBay guy, whoever it was, is going to be selling another crystal. That looks like the die's fully flush. It's jacked down quite hard. And the crystal's dead level there. It's just protruding fractionally at that side opposite the magnifier. Just seated partly on that. You can cheat in here. To take that off, put a slightly smaller solid one on, because it's a flat crystal. And just concentrate on the area it's not seated in. It's really abusing the thing, but that's... Oh, the knob's unscrewed from the top of the shaft rather than the thing retracting. Come on. It doesn't want to go. Just cheat slightly, give it to the hand. That knob needs degreasing, the middle Loctite on it. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the correct way to do it, I know that, but as I say, this thing is purely a toy. Oh, now I noticed that. Now, we've been messing with it and trying to get that ring off. It's still got protective plastic film on it. For all these years. See, it's bubbling a bit there. Ah! Yes. Quality indeed. It's probably the amount of pressure being put on it, but taking that off does allow me to get to the crystal better and try and press it down a bit if needed. It's very difficult to tell. Yeah, now with that bit unstuck, I can see the inner rim of the case that the crystal seated into. There's fingerprints on the outside, that one or two bothered, they'll come off afterwards. Inside is clean. I think I've got bits of grease on me from handling this thing. I'll probably need some new gloves. But, back to the 32 proper die. That just about fits. It's overlapping slightly. It might have just been slightly catching that ring, because that's a bit more raised than the rest of it. But, try and get it by feel so it's as far across and as near centre as it possibly can be. Then give it some serious press. Oh, that's as tight as I can get. That's tight. Is it going to unscrew or is it going to... No, knob's unscrewing again. That's a definite flaw in that. But yeah, for the few pounds it costs compared to a professional tool, can't really complain too much. Okay, Loctite works wonders. That's why it's always kept to hand. I'm surprised what that comes in for sometimes. They're doing small assemblies and mechanical bits. Not just screws, but it actually even fix shafts and sleeve couplers together, things like that, just with Loctite. And from experience, they take a lot of disassembling of it. Yeah, pretty permanent. Right, I think that's in a square as or near as it matters. So I'm going to put that back in its box. So it's greasy. And get some fresh gloves before I do anything else. That's what that case tool is labelled as. Right, gloves. I tend to get through these in large quantities when working on machine tools and things. So they don't work well without lots of lubrication and coolants and things on the mechanical side. Electronics doesn't well if it gets any oil or metal dust or coolant into it. So the two must be kept well separated. Just a bit of general kitchen towel tap to give the outside of the case a quick wipe to get any stuff off of that from the gloves. And just check that's something like. It's got some slight marks on the inside, unfortunately. Well, looks as though I took it out of the bag. It is on the outside, so I'm not too worried. That's got that tiny fingerprint off them or glove smear from the inside. There's another mark there. I don't know what this crystal is made of. It's probably just plain glass. But it's not chipped so far. So it will do. It does the job. See if this thing will go back in. Presumably there's some kind of orientation other than just the spindle. Stem, sorry. Where is that? The case has got a key position in the back opposite the stem. But there's nothing visible to actually connect with that in any way. It's not quite in line. That's what I find out, I suppose, is check the stem fits. It's just a fraction off that way. It appears to be right. Let's press the button, it's clicked in. It's kicked in at that, it started running. Give it a wind. And the crystal's in the wrong position. I've tried to put it dead in line with the stem, but now the movement's back in. It's a little bit off. It's a little bit high from where it should be. Oops, that was not fitted right, obviously. Now, the glass needs turning just a fraction clockwise to line up. It should be centred there, and it's centred there. It's only millimetres or so, it's just enough to be visually wrong. Oh well. At least it's got no chips in it, so that'll do. I should really mark the case, so I'll put a bit of tape on the case. But that's it, it's a toy, definitely, and nothing more. So for now, it'll do. And find some Bostik or something of equal or similar grade, something rubbery glue type material, stick that back on with. Looking at that, the glue was only they coated the entirety of that bezel cut out with glue. But because this is angled up quite steeply towards the middle, it's conical. It's only ever touched the very outside in a couple of places. When it's on, it looks the part. Like I say, I've never even noticed before now, it's still got this plastic coating on it. Protective film. So, anyway, that's a non-Rolex. It was bought in the Far East, I don't know, 10-15 years ago.
Well, seeing I've already seen the state of the case, I thought I'd try cheating a bit to get that crystal dead in line. So I held the thing with a big pair of grips and used the case ball directly on the crystal to try and turn it. And after a few attempts it did, a bit too far to start with, then back a bit, and I got it in line. It seems to be spot on. So just want that thing putting back on. Just say has a few tiny traces of glue at the edge, but nothing much to speak of. So seeing and it's appropriate for the value of the watch. Bit of contact adhesive. Just a bit of spare wire, component lead wire that save these long pieces of power resistors. Can be used for all sorts of things. Just put a few specks of that on it and stick it back together, literally. And the same as do with Loctite, just put a bit out on a bit of scrap plastic. And use a bit of fine wire to transfer small amounts. Get it before it goes off. Might be able to put it on the side of that, it's easy to get to. It's quite fast setting this stuff. It's also very messy. Get it on anything. That's started gel already. Oops, it's a glob. Definitely don't want a glob. That's going to have to do. Just trying to avoid any bits going outside where it should be. I'll finish taking that plastic off now it's been disturbed. Yes. It looked like a similar contact type, cement type material underneath the ring in the bezel groove. So hopefully this will react with it and hold it in place. It's a bit dropping out. Like I say, it looks nice, it works. It's a toy. Just the strap to go back on, whatever I did with that. Figure out which way around that went. I don't even know. Does not feel weird if you put the buckle the wrong way around. The catch. Yeah, just to the back. That's why it's so awkward to get off. There is no metal inside there, it's just a couple of little brass things hidden away. That glue before I drop it. Anyway, this pin is not very good. Does not want to go. I think it's not in. Anyway, oh, that's it, it's gone. Okay, that's going to take some fiddling. It's not a precision fit, it's more like a force it in and let it bend a bit so it feels solid fit. Oh well, right. Enough. And